What's up, American truckers? Got old Snapper here. Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper. I'll cut my opti-idle off because that thing's start up. Y'all won't be able to hear me. I ran across a clip earlier of autonomous trucks. I've been watching some of these things, looking at how they're progressing and different stuff like that. I'm gonna show y'all that clip and then kind of brainstorm on this a little bit. I've posted some of it to TikTok and seen the way some of the drivers are responding. I got to be honest, I have a different opinion on drivers' views of it. I don't think drivers are taking all of it into consideration, and kind of want to put it out there and tell y'all what my views are and see what some of y'all think. Whether you agree or disagree. Y'all can drop that down in the comments. Let me know what y'all see in the near future. Anyway, let's get to that clip coming up right here.
Over 70% of what we eat and use every day is moved by trucks. Yet trucking is one of the most dangerous jobs. Each year in the US, trucks are involved in more than 100,000 accidents and over 4,000 deaths. Now think again. What if, instead, we can have a truck that never gets distracted, never gets tired, always follows traffic rules, safely navigates highways, pulls over automatically in case of an emergency, and drives itself?
Alright, welcome back, American truckers. That's one of the systems. Hang on. That's one of several. I'm going to tell you what some of the other drivers say. One, they say they're driving in perfect weather. Not exactly true. They're running across Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and California. Yes, a lot of it is desert. They do have one autonomous truck or two autonomous trucks running a load Dallas to Houston. Alright, and it's running a regular route every day. And it's been doing that now for 2 years. So it is running once it gets on the interstate, They got a driver that drives it from the warehouse to the highway. Once it gets on the highway, he puts it in auto. Another thing I hear drivers talk about is fueling. Who's going to secure the cargo? Who's going to close the doors? Who's going to open the doors? All really, in my opinion, things that don't give us a whole lot of worth, to be honest with you. Number one, if they went completely driverless, they'd probably be electric. Probably wouldn't need they could run it on a solar panel, like they do the new electric APUs. Wouldn't need a driver at all. If they took the driver's cab off and all that kind of stuff, it'd make the truck lighter. They could actually haul more cargo, which would help logistics as a whole. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, I think we're going to start seeing them more and more every year. I think right now, at the present time, drivers that are working for those companies they're getting paid regular like we are. But what I think is going to happen is eventually you're going to see it phase all the way that way. And I would say that's probably going to happen within the next 5 years. 10 at the most. I know some of y'all out there are like, no way that technology is going to happen that fast. Look how fast technology is going. We basically carry a computer around in our pockets. They're able to program vaccines. Look at how fast, and every time technology rolls, it's like a snowball. It goes faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. So I honestly believe it's going to happen with a driver in the cab, almost industry-wide, for dry box and reefer within the next 5 years. Of course, there'll be a driver opening the doors. There'll be a driver doing all that kind of stuff. I think within the next 10 years, we're going to start seeing them without drivers altogether. I think Congress would completely pass that law. It'd be a benefit to them because they can haul more cargo. And one of the main things I see drivers who try to speak against it, they say, well, what about when it kills somebody? Well, as you saw in that video, and they're right, I looked it up, we average killing 4,000 people a year with drivers in the cab. You know, and I think drivers are looking at it all wrong. If you, as a driver, want to make yourself more important or more valuable than that autonomous truck, you got to do a couple things. One, you got to focus on having less accidents. That's industry wide. So instead of recording each other doing dumb things, we should be helping each other. That way, we lower the number of accidents we're having out here on the road. Here's another thing. That autonomous vehicle, it's not going to throw pee bottles out on the side of the highway. It's not going to throw poop bags in the back of a truck stop. It's not going to sweep a trailer out and litter the back of a truck stop. It's not going to pee on the ground in a truck stop and have a truck stop smelling like a bathroom. All the trashy things that us as drivers kind of do now, not myself, but some, enough that I see it just about everywhere I go, it's not going to do those things. And I believe that's a lot of why we've kind of been casted out of society. We're not looked at the way drivers were looked at in the 70s. Drivers in the 70s were looked up to. Today, we're not so much. Think about it. What do you see most of the time when you see a driver? You got some flip-flops on, no socks, got some shorts, looking like a busted can of biscuits, smelling like he ain't showered in a month. I mean, and I'm not saying you in particular, or me, but it's enough of them out here that that's what the general public sees. They see an uneducated outcast in society, basically. We bully the road a lot of times. I see drivers bully other drivers all the time. I see 18-wheelers running up, riding the tail end of cars. When you got the general public doesn't want you out here, they don't like trucks, that's going to usher in, more for Congress to back pushing this type of technology. And I know some of you right now are like, no way, they're never going to do that. All right, check this out. These e-logs we got now. I remember when we were on paper. And I remember when they were talking about going to e-logs, like they're talking about autonomous vehicles now. All right. Everybody, including myself, said, no, that'll never work. That's never going to work. And we had all kinds of excuses and reasons why e-logs wouldn't work. Well, guess what? We got them. And I said it back then, and very few people would listen to me, but every time I seen an accident happen where someone was running illegal, they're running over their logs, or they're running more than one book, I used to tell people, I'd say, look, every time that happens, they're getting another reason to throw e-logs in our trucks. And sure enough, when that stuff went to Congress, that's what they used. They used statistics. They said, all right, we're having this much, these are the issues we're having. This is how many people died last year because truckers were tired. And they used all those excuses. Guys running illegal. This is how many people we caught with more than one log book. This is how many people we caught running over their log. This family got killed because this driver was over on his hours. It was all those things they used. So the same thing with what's happening now with autonomous vehicles. Think about it, drivers. Use your head. Think about it. We have got to become more valuable than that autonomous vehicle. We have got to get to a point where society would rather us be running that truck than that truck running itself. Dressing properly, taking a shower, not littering up the sides of highways, not bullying cars when we're driving through cities. I mean, really, how much time do you lose slowing down a couple mile an hour? You know, how much time do you lose letting somebody in? You know, not trying to bulldog the car getting on the highway. Really, I mean, think about it. I mean, we can drive around out here arrogant like we rule the world for the rest, and we'll arrogant ourselves right on out of this industry. You know, if you want a spot, if you're young, you really need to worry about this. If you're in your 20s or early 30s, this should be really important to you, because this is probably for sure going to affect your job. And some people might say, well, they're going to need a driver in the cab for a few years. Yeah, they will. But guess what? They just turned once it goes all the way, they just turned your job into a minimum wage job. All right, because you're basically just sitting around. You want to be out here away from your family for minimum wage? Sitting in a truck, doing nothing? You know, I see some of y'all gripe now because, you know, you ain't got a standard. What are you going to do when you got a truck driving itself? You know? I mean, I'm not saying that what I'm saying is going to work for sure, but it's better than all the other excuses I'm hearing. You know, in my opinion, it's better than all the other excuses. As far as who's going to open and close the doors, the shipper and receiver can do that. You know, as far as who's going to secure cargo, shipper and receiver can do that. Hell, even when I ran flatbed, there were places I did dropping hooks at where it was already secured. All I had to do was walk around and make sure it was secured properly, hook up to it, and take off. And of course, leave behind whatever securement was used for that load. They had a box up there we used to put it in. You know, so none of those things I think are going to hinder it or slow it down. You know, as far as it getting hacked, that's another excuse I hear. A lot of drivers say, well, what about when it gets hacked? Come on, driver. I mean, really? Look at how many foreigners we have out here now. If a terrorist is going to hack it, we got terrorists driving trucks. You know, I mean, literally, you know. Not saying that all, you know, foreigners are terrorists. I'm just saying it's a high probability. So we run that risk anyway. You know, so I don't think that's going to deter it either. But let me know in the comments what you think. What types of things you think will actually, and think outside the box, will actually stop this or slow this technology from coming in. You know, and I've heard a lot of people say, well, what are we going to do? I honestly feel like they're going to automate a lot of jobs, not just trucking. And I honestly feel like that's why they're trying to push socialism. Because they know that. They'll just make us all poor, and they'll make us all depend on them. But I'm not getting into that. I don't put a whole lot of politics on this channel, as y'all know. But anyway, you know, look around online and see what you think about this stuff. Do you think it's going to be successful? How long do you think we have before it starts to come in the industry? How long do you think we have before it starts to affect our jobs? You know, and especially you youngsters, you know, how long do y'all think y'all have left in the industry? Well, I hope everybody's doing great, staying safe out there. Remember, we are a family. Let's look out for each other. You know, you see that driver throwing a piss bottle on the side of the road, you remember that persona is hurting us. It's hurting us all the way across the industry. When you see that driver taking a leak outside his truck in a truck stop, that's hurting us. It's hurting our image in this industry. And I hate to say this, man, but when you're out here working. When you hop out of your truck wearing flip-flops, shorts, looking like you just came off the beach out at, you know, Florida, it's hard to take somebody serious looking like that. It's hard to take them like they're really doing something. You know, they look more like they're playing around. It's hard to take that type serious. Some people call that the Volvo Mafia. I've seen guys driving in all kinds of trucks like that. But I want to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know what you think. Y'all stay safe. I appreciate all of y'all for watching the video. And, You can find me on social media. That stuff will be down in the description. I'm on TikTok, Facebook groups. Also got merch. You can get a shirt. You can get a hat. You can get a tote bag. Got all kinds of things. Check it out at www.americantruckersunited.com. Let's come together. Let's get this done. Keep trucking.